Hi, my name's Barry Crampton. Today I'm going to show you around our Jaguar I-Pace. Then I'll take you for a ride in it, but first I'll tell you a little bit more about it. It's an I-Pace 400 90 kilowatt hour SE automatic 4-wheel drive 2019 on a 69 plate. Absolute beautiful condition. It's done 37,160 miles. Has a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds. A top speed of 125 miles per hour and an engine power of 395 brake horsepower. Of course, it's an electric motor, so there's no cylinders, valves, anything like that. It's just one motor. Because in beautiful condition, it's got a great specification. You probably won't expect to see me in an EV because I think there's a rumour going around that I'm an EV hater. Just to be clear, I'm not an EV hater. What I hate is all the lies surrounding the sales of EVs. People will tell you lies. These EVs have to catch on. They have to sell them. There's no two ways about it. In order to do that, you will see the motoring press, the motoring, well, the biggest advertisers, the biggest names in the motor trade, all telling you stuff. Don't believe it. Don't believe it until you've done your own research. There's people out there telling you that the discs will do 100,000 miles, that tyres will do 40,000 miles, that they're cheap to charge, cheap to service. That's not strictly the truth. The disc won't last 100,000 miles if in normal use. The tyres won't last 40,000 miles in normal use. And if you charge anywhere but home, they're not cheap to charge. But they're fantastic cars. The technology is fantastic. The technology, you know, the infrastructure will come. I can use this fine just from a 3-pin charger. This vehicle takes 39 hours to charge from scratch. You know, I mean, that's hardly ideal, but I'm at work 8 hours a day, probably more, and I only come to work and back. I can work around it. Don't rush into buying an EV when you're not ready. Don't rush into buying an EV because people tell you to. These people, I mean, sure, we make our wages, we make our money by selling cars, but it don't have to be EVs. I don't have to sell you this car. I didn't have to buy it. If I didn't want it, I wanted this for myself because it'll be a good car for me. It may not be a good car for you. So, if you want to buy it, make sure it's right. Otherwise, don't buy it. We don't want to sell you a car that's not good for you. All that creates is buyer's remorse, a bad taste in your mouth. I bought this car from Grosvenor Garage and, you know, I can't get to work and back in it without having to charge. None of that. We don't want any of that. We want you to buy a car that you want. This car drives beautiful. You won't find a better driving car. And it's cheap. So, with that in mind, there'll be a few more moans through this video because I really hate the EV infrastructure, the EV zealots, the cult, the shills. They really are a bunch of liars. So, where to start? This is an SE. It's got the pan roof. It's got rear privacy glass. It's got keyless entry, keyless lock, keyless go. You just need the key on you, get out the car, press the button, handles fold away, so do the power folding door mirrors. Come back to the car, key in your pocket, press the button, that's it. In the car, press the button, no key, just in your pocket, press the button and you're away. Now if you don't like black, this isn't the car for you. It's black. It's got black window surrounds. It's got the piano black multi-spoke alloy wheels, the black grille, everything about it is black. Jaguar LED headlight technology, the big Jaguar badge. I think this is probably the best looking EV on the road. High pressure headlamp wash, front parking sensors. You've got, I suppose the Americans call it a frunk, a front trunk, or a front boot. So I'll just show you. In here, you put your washer fluid in there, and then you've got your charging lead, your fast charging lead. Now, the best thing to do is have a charger fitted at home, the 7.2 kilowatt charger, so you can get a fair bit of distance in it overnight. A 3-pin charger is pretty much a waste of time. As I say, that suits me because I'm sat at work all day, 5-6 days a week, and I do 4 mile backwards and forwards. So at the end of the week, I can have a full tank or a full charge for the weekend. Brilliant for me. I don't need one of these, and we can't have one anyway because the cable going to the garage, it won't take the current that's needed to power one of these chargers. So that's it. The charging port is here. Did I mention it parks itself? Okay, I'm just going to show you how the assisted parking works on this 2019 Jaguar I-Pace. So from any screen here, we're in drive. You see the parking there, and then the parking, a P with a little, let me just try and show you. So, video. So we'll do this. So here we go. That's the parking there, you see. So we'll click that. So that's parking, and that's bringing it up. It's showing you, it's searching at both sides here for a parking space. We're in drive, so we go forward like so. It's a bit of a tight squeeze on the forecourt here, so being careful not to hit anything. And you'll see there, it may pick up a parking space on the side, but we're just going past one. There we go, it's picked one up. Now it's telling me to select reverse, which is there, and then over there, auto, and here we go. Just click that up like that, and honestly, this really does frighten me to death. We're reversing into this parking space, like so. That's me. All I'm doing is covering the brake. It's taking me in. Drive forward with care. So D. And that's it. Complete. Done it. Anyway, it's got assisted parking too. Integrated rear tailgate spoiler. Again, this in the bonnet or the frunk, there's a hollowed out, or it's sculptured out, looks really good. And again, you've got the same sort of wind flow or aerodynamics on the back here, and a diffuser just underneath. This car goes like the absolute wind. And I'll be honest with you, when I first picked it up, I'd never driven one before. We had a red one the other week which we bought for me to use, and it sold the same day. So I only got to drive it from the workshop back down to the garage. And even then I thought, God, this drives a bit shit really, you know, I don't know why people like them. So I've made a couple of adjustments in the settings, and I'll tell you what, it drives absolutely beautiful now. It really does. And I'll tell you about the discs, the story. Quentin Wilson, it's not unusual to get 100,000, or it's not unusual to see an EV having covered 100,000 miles with the same discs on and pads, and there's another EV mechanic over on the wherever it is showing taking some pads out of an MG at 100,000 miles and saying they're like new. Honestly, that is an exception to the rule, trust me. It really is. And it's misinformation. In my view, it's misinformation. As I say, if you're going to buy this off us, be aware, be fully aware. Let me tell you what you need to do, and ask me. Ask me how I do it. Don't come buying this car off me taking the word of other people. Don't come buying this thinking Quentin Wilson says you're going to get 40,000 miles out the tyres. You're not. You're not going to get 100,000 miles out the you know, I can't stress that enough. I don't want you to buy this, then go away and be disappointed. I want you to buy this, go away and think, geez, this is the best car I've ever driven. It goes like the wind. It accelerates like a supercar. It's got outrageous performance. It's comfortable, it's quiet. When I charge it at home, it hardly costs me anything to run. That's what I want you to think. Not, oh God, well he said I'd get that. Right. I'm really pissed off with these EV people. I really am. Trust me. I've been in the motor trade for 50 years and I've never ever seen as many or heard as many lies come out with different cars and different modes, different propulsions. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Why all of a sudden have all these liars come out of the woodwork? I can't get my head around it. Why is everybody pushing forward? Why is everybody pushing Chinese EVs? Why are they doing it? Why name drop at every opportunity? All my years in the motor trade, the only reason that stuff like that has ever happened is because somebody's giving them a brown envelope. That's it. Might be wrong. Might be totally off mark, but right. So there you go. Power open, power close tailgate. Full of my stuff as usual. Quite a lot of room in the back there. There's the power open, power close. That is the reversing camera. We've got reversing sensors just above the diffuser here. And as I say, I think this is a beautiful looking car. And now I've got it set up properly, it drives just as good as any diesel or petrol, just as comfortable, and doesn't. Oh, well, somebody's not done that right, have they? And it wasn't me. What can I say? Bit of a squeeze getting in. I've got my seats all the way back. Seats are nice and comfortable. They're really, really good. Glass panoramic sunroof here. You've got a little panel here for your lights. So the person in the middle has to be shorter than the two out on the outside. And also, of course, that bit's not quite as comfortable. There you go. It's got Isofix rear child seat anchor points in the back. I always think they should line inside that because it's just going to slide round every time you accelerate or brake. Contrast stitching. Lovely, lovely car. Meridian speakers. The sound system's great because it's quieter as well. It's you know, it's a joy to listen to music. You really love it. It's got Apple CarPlay in it. Great specification. Rear child locks. Fortunately, this has got global opening. Global closing. And even stupid people can get out. Okay, this is the best bit. I'll take you for a drive. So here we go. That's the key. As long as you've got the key on you, foot on the brake. It's pretty underwhelming, isn't it? All you have to do now is select drive or reverse, and you're away. When I was saying before, one of my main concerns with EVs is with the regen braking, you don't have to use the brakes. And if you don't have to use the brakes, or sometimes you can't use the brakes because the regen slows you down so fast you don't get time to brake. But what happens then is your discs build up a coating of rust or they corrode. And when you do actually need them, when you do actually need to perform an emergency stop, the pads have to clear the rust off before they start grabbing. So it compromises your braking system, and all that 100,000 mile rubbish lasts. They will just corrode. If you don't use them, they'll corrode. They won't last 100,000 miles. They'll only last 100,000 miles if you're in somewhere like Beverly Hills and there's no rain, there's no moisture, there's no condensation. They won't last here. They won't last, I don't know, 6 months, 12 months, they'll be corroded, trust me. So the first thing I did here's your display. If we go along to My EV, you'll see, click on My EV. That's telling me at the moment I've got 45% battery, a range of 119 miles. So, I mean, technically, full charge, 260 mile, technically. EV setup, into EV setup. Two important settings here, look. Here we go. You've got regenerative braking. That was on high. As soon as you take your foot off the brake. So basically, another problem with EVs, the tyres shred because you're either going too fast. When they set off, the torque is instant, you're away. And then as soon as you let your foot off the accelerator, then it's braking. No coasting, no driving nice and smooth. You've got a Jaguar. You don't want to be doing stuff like that. So, you've also got vehicle creep. Now, in an automatic, when you take your foot off the brake, the car starts to creep forward. In an EV, if you don't have that on, nothing happens. So you put your foot on the accelerator and you're away again. So again, you're stressing your tyres out. We don't want to do that. Regenerative braking, low. Vehicle creep, on. So now, if I put that in drive, take my foot off the accelerator, we creep away. We'll just put it back in neutral. Vehicle creep off, and then we'll do it in drive. I'm rolling there, but normally nothing. So back into park, vehicle creep on, regenerative braking low. I think, this is me, many years of motoring, I think that you are better with regenerative braking set on low and coasting. It drives like a normal car then, it drives like a normal car would do. If you put your foot on the clutch to change gear, you coast a little bit. If you're coming up to traffic lights, you coast. And I think, I can't see there being too much difference between what electricity you harvest through harsh regenerative braking to what you save through just coasting and not using anything. Anyway, here we go. So into drive, foot on the brake, we're away. That's it. I'll just click there, look. So vehicle creep on, and that's in EV setup. You can also vehicle precondition, so you can warm the vehicle up before you come out to it. Into drive. Now let's go. I'm going to turn the aircon down. All these things use your battery, of course. But the trick is to have plenty of charge to start off with. Plan your journey. As I said, this is fine for me. it'd probably be 3-4 weeks before I'd need to charge it, to be fair. So it's ideal for me, but just make sure it's ideal for you, because it's got everything that an ICE car would have. Absolutely everything. It's actually, because EVs, in my opinion, have been sold so badly, they've been pushed on people who didn't want them, things have come out in order to sell them, things have been exaggerated, and people like myself, people with any motor trade experience, people who've been driving for a while, people who aren't gullible, have just thought, no, that's not true. Quentin, that's laughable. And they've just voted with their feet. Now these vehicles are so cheap. This vehicle should be 30 grand. It's a 30 grand vehicle, 60 odd thousand pounds new. In order to sell them, they've had to become cheap. They are too cheap. If they're sold properly, I would think they'll catch on more and the cars will go up. But in the meantime, for the right people whose needs their suit, they're an excellent choice. I don't hate EVs. I hate the EV shills and the mouthpieces. But to be honest, I've never liked Quentin Wilson. I just don't, you know, I just don't like him. Don't like the look of him, don't like the way he talks. He comes across to me as being smarmy, and I wouldn't believe anything he said anyway, whether it was about an electric car or an internal combustion engine. So the only thing I would say is, over the years I've been to thousands of shows, and I've never ever fallen out with anybody because my car hasn't had the same propulsion system as theirs. I've never been lectured, I've never been told that I'm killing the planet, because I'm not. Because the other thing is, of course, to produce an EV, it's actually a dirtier process than producing an ICE car. So the figure that I use is 23,500. That's generally accepted by the EV shills. 23,500. An EV has to do 23,500 before it's cleaner than an internal combustion car. This car's done 37, so this has actually paid some back. But if it's done less than that, then it's actually stolen fresh air from the past and not paid it back. You know, that's a big thing. So let's get all this stuff right. Let's find out when they are cleaner. Let's sell them to people who are going to do over 23,500 miles. Otherwise, what's the point in buying an EV and doing 5,000 miles in 15 years? You know, you're robbing fresh air. Right, now look at the way this drives. It's lovely and quiet. We've got heated seats, we've got heated steering wheel, heated windscreen, this display here, the climate control, the switches. I personally don't like these sort of switches. I'd rather have a click switch and one for each individual thing I'm controlling, but there we go. So that turns the temperature up and down. If I press it, it turns the heated seats. It goes to heated seats, so I can turn the heated seats on. If I pull it, it's then the fan, so I can turn the fan up. You know, I mean, it's a bit too complicated, isn't it? I click it there. Heated rear screen, heated front screen. You know, it's all touching. We've got voice activation. It's got Apple CarPlay. I have put my Linky Fun wireless adapter in here. It's a wired Apple CarPlay, so you have to have your phone with your charging lead plugged into one of the USB sockets. However, I've got this little Linky Fun adapter there that turns it into Bluetooth. So now I've got Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay. if I just go back to home, and we'll click on there. There you go. So I've got all the great things, all the great features of Apple CarPlay. And I can use voice activation to do those. I'll either cut something in or I'll put a link to how to use it. But you don't have to take your hands off the steering wheel. You can just do anything just by pressing this button for 2 seconds. This car will park itself. You find a place whereabouts you want to park, the road you want to park. You indicate to show which side you want to park on, and then you just click. Oh dearie, let me just go back. Just go back here, we'll go back to Jaguar, and then you just click there, look. That's the parking. It won't come on at the moment because we're going too fast. It thinks, Baz, you can't park at 40 miles an hour. Don't be stupid. You see, I can coast, and I'm using my brakes. So my brakes are always clean. My discs are always clean for when I actually do need to use them. And this is a true story. And lots of times you see things on the internet, you know, and it said, and my 5-year-old turned to me and said, "Isn't Nigel Farage great?" And everybody clapped. I'd clap that, by the way. But anyway, and then somebody else would say, of all the things that never happened, that never happened most. So when I got this car, the regen was turned up to full, and I'd probably not gone half a mile in it. And for no reason at all that I could see. I was well behind the car in front. I always drive well behind the car in front. I never go anywhere in a hurry. It's stupid. Why would you? Just set off 5 minutes early. So the car in front of me slammed on. I'd got plenty of room. I hit the brake, and for a second or 2 seconds, nothing really happened like it should do. It felt spongy, and the car kept going until the brakes grabbed. First thing I did, straight back, I just switched the regen off. Those discs were rusty. I switched the regen off now, and I can slam on with the best of them. I'd rather be able to brake safely with my family in, or stop clear of a pedestrian or a child that's run out, whatever, a dog, a squirrel, whatever it is. I'd rather be able to stop than be able to say, oh, I squeezed another half a mile out of a kilowatt of electricity. So this is set up, it drives beautiful. It drives just as good as anything, if not better. But watch this. Oh, he's come in front of me now, but you know, we're doing 60. I mean, my head hit the headrest then. We were already doing 60. I floored it, my head hit the headrest. And I'm not like doing it for effect. It chucked me back in the seat. It's the most, I mean, I've driven Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Then, you know, you hit the loud pedal and and it takes off. This, it's a bit like Airwolf. It's you're away. You've got everything that you could possibly want. I've not even done the adaptive cruise control. There's just too much on it. We've got blind spot warning. Should I go back the other way? Let me just think now. Where am I going to go? I'll tell you where I want to go. I want to try a charger, but I might do that another day. Actually, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back that way because you know, there's hardly any sound. You've got the indicator there showing you as soon as I let off, I'm coasting, but it's putting charge back in the battery. I'm going to go over there. I'm using my brakes to brake. We've got on the left hand side, you know, it's telling you how many miles to the kilowatt you're doing and blah, blah, blah. Leaves me cold. You've got your sat nav. Don't have to look over here. I've got the screen here, which is great. In the center, digital speedo. So it's telling me exactly how many miles an hour I'm doing. No ambiguity. Can't say, sorry officer, I misread my dial, I couldn't see it properly. Right in the middle. We're doing 68 already. Cruise control. So, set. That's it, it's set already. So that's set to 63 miles an hour. I'm going to turn it up, I'm going to click it up to 70, but I'm behind this car in front. Set to 70 now. It's adaptive cruise control. Now we've got arrows here and arrows there. Big arrows, big gap. Little arrows, little gap. So I'm going to click the little gap now, and you'll see there, I'll just turn it up. You'll see that's slowing me down. If I click the little arrows here, then we're actually now speeding up and gaining on the car in front. But when you get to a certain distance, it will start slowing me down, and it will keep me that set distance from the car in front. If I just want to increase it, I can do that, and we'll start to drop back. You'll see we're dropping back, and the gap's getting bigger. There's going to be a car coming past me any second, just there, and there's the blind spot warning. That blind spot warning is worth its weight in gold. The times it saves you, especially if there's a motorcycle, just me and John were going to pick a car up the other day. There was a car sat in the middle lane, just in my blind spot. There was nothing behind me. He could have overtaken. He didn't. He just sat in my blind spot. There we go, look. We've moved away from the car in front. The cruise control is accelerating away. Wow, that is accelerating away. It's crazy. If you're at rest, it will give you the option to start off in low friction mode. If you're in the snow or whatever, you're not wheel spinning. There's so much torque in this vehicle. You know, the last thing you want, trying to set off in snow, you just can't do it. So here we go. So if I click down, eco, comfort, and then I can go into dynamic, and I can set it in dynamic. There you go, dynamic mode can yawn. I mean, that is just insane acceleration. You just don't need it at all. You know, I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. I want it in, yeah, comfort, not eco, I'll have it in comfort. There you go, that's good for me. Eco data, look. There you go, that's telling you all that stuff there. Range, impact, history. Go on, history, look, yeah, there you go. Great. There we go. I can't even read what it says. Hopefully you'll be able to see better from there. Car is absolutely beautiful. Little button at the end there. We'll put those on the end of my nose and then do that. You'll see down there it changing. But you can see that lovely little dog in the back of that Polaris in front, whatever it's called. There you go, he's banking as he goes round the corner so he doesn't fall out. Power folding door mirrors. Electric windows all round. You can put the suspension up. It's got access height, automatic access height. You can set that from here. Oh, collision avoidance. Need to knock the collision avoidance off. That just steered me. So on there, collision avoidance, first one, collision avoidance, click on collision avoidance, forward alert, sensitivity. He's a bit over my side, should have warned me there. Blind spot assistance, forward alert, knock the forward alert off, and then it won't steer me away. So the next thing I'm going to try, I run around in my Citroen Ami. That has a 45-mile range. I'm a motor trader. For years, I've run around with the fuel gauge right at the bottom. Range anxiety doesn't mean anything to motor traders. We've done it for years. However, for some reason, knowing that you can't just walk a few hundred yards up the road, buy a fuel can, fill it up, and come and get your car going again, it's a strange feeling. So there is a little bit of range anxiety, but you know, there shouldn't be. There's loads and loads of charging stations now. I've not got to grips with them. I just don't need them. As I say, I just charge at the garage. But I'm going to have to get used to it, because I am going to try and run this vehicle as I would normally. So the other day, we went to Harrogate. And in order to go to Harrogate the next day, there was no charging it, because we'd already been to Macclesfield. So I'd only got about 20 miles. So I had to leave the car overnight charging and go home in something else. And leaving it all night, only just put enough charge in to go to Harrogate and back. And it was, you know, it was close. So I'm going to have to get familiar with these superchargers, the fast chargers. It's not the cheapest way of doing it. So, you know, I don't want to be doing it all the time, but if I do need to go anywhere in a hurry, then that's what I need to do. So I'm going to go and try, see if we can plug into one of the fast chargers. Our old place, Grosvenor Garage, the Co-op bought it, and anyway, they've just commissioned it. It was empty for a good while. They've just commissioned it. They had an EV charger installed, and then we were going past one day, and John was talking to them, and they were taking the EV charger out and putting another one in. And the reason was the supplier they'd gone skin, the original. So John said, well, surely can you not just change the name? And they said, oh no, you can't do that. They're completely different. So they had to rip the machine out, put a new one in. So that's the one I'm going to go and try. I don't know whose it is. I've got a couple of, I've got ZapMap, and I think I've got Instavolt, because I tried to charge my Ami, my Citroen Ami at Morrison's a few weeks ago. Wouldn't charge. Couldn't get it working. But this drives like a normal car now with the regen switch to low. You know, you have regen on high, you save yourself a couple of quid in charging, and then the next minute you've got to put discs and pads all around. You know, it's just false economy. But not only is it false economy, it's compromising your safety. Why would you do it? All right, oh God, look at this. Powering Britain's electric vehicles. Video screen, helpline, oh gosh. Let's see what's going to happen here. Approved. Right, now then, which one do I need? Please press the button below to select the clutch type you wish to use. That weighs a ton. Right. It's making some noises. All right, here we go. Unit charge in progress. Charge in progress. Well, let's see what happens there. Right, I'm going to go in the co-op and charge. So it's only taken me a few minutes really to go shopping. View progress. So view progress. To stop charging, please tap your card on the payment terminal. Well, I'm going to have my sandwich. It makes a bit of a difference, and time remaining 1 hour 24 minutes. 19 hours. Of course, we don't know how much it's going to be yet. I'm having a sandwich. No, I suppose normally I would drive and eat my sandwich, which isn't the right thing to do. And watching telly as well. Having a bit of a relax. It's not too much trouble, is it? We're up to 65%. The only thing I would say is, does it say how long we've been here? Well, in order for it to stop, I've got to tap my card on the screen there. So, I've got 174 miles at the moment. Time remaining to take it to full, 56 minutes. I don't know how much it's cost me yet, but all in all, it's pretty painless. So the one thing I would say is that I arrived just before a chap in a Tesla, and I think he was going to charge as well, but he's shot off somewhere else. So this is the only place I know, and the only reason I know here, my cabin used to be here. This used to be BC Cars, right here. I'd have been sat here. My settee would probably be about here. And I'd be sat waiting for customers, looking out this way for, what, I don't know, God knows how many years. I mean, that's as much charge as I need, and I don't really need to bring it here to do so. I only did it to demonstrate. That was the first time of me using this machine. If I can use it like that, then it's pretty simple to do. Just with your debit card. You can download the app as well, which I assume would make it easy. I'll try that next time. Okay, let's just stop it. So here we go. View progress, up to 74%. Return, pricing, won't tell me. There we go, yes, stop the session. Stopping, please wait for a moment. Please remove card. Total cost $28.19. Start time 14:05. Stop time 14:38. That's it. But, you know, there's no need to be frightened of them, really. I think what needs to happen is the sales network need to sell EVs to people who need them, not just to anybody. They need them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.